Good morning, students. Hope you will be fine at your respective places. Last time we have started this topic, that is the translation, and we have discussed it here that there are various steps which take part in the process of translation. The first step which we have discussed, that is activation of amino acids. हाँ, what happen is here, this reaction जो हमारे पास है, that is this reaction which is brought about by the binding of an amino acid with ATP, and this takes place in presence of an enzyme. That enzyme is known as amino acyl synthetase. And what happens here, due to this reaction, what we will see, a substance is formed, a complex rather is formed, which is called as amino acyl AMP enzyme complex. This is the first step, is formed. And also here we will see, now it was adenosine triphosphate, is the adenosine monophosphate. That means two phosphate groups, they are released, that is called as the pyrophosphates. Now second step which we have discussed last time, that is transfer of amino acid to tRNA. हाँ, हमने वो स्ट्रक्चर पढ़ा था टीआरएनए का मॉडल जो था, दैट वाज द क्लोवर लीफ व्हाट वी कॉल एज दिस स्ट्रक्चर लाइक दिस बेटा. This here we will see that there is this what we will see, that here we will see that this tRNA, joint is the tRNA, here this is the amino acid binding site. There amino acid binding site, it gets attached there. So we will see this अमाइनो एसिड AMP एंजाइम कम्प्लेक्स जो फॉर्म हो जाता है इन द स्टेप फर्स्ट, इट रिएक्ट्स विद द स्पेसिफिक tRNA and this amino acid is transferred to this tRNA. As a result, what we will see, this enzyme and AMP, they are what we call it, they are liberated, they are released. Now the third step जो हमारे पास है, which we have to discuss today, that is the actual process of this protein synthesis. That is the protein synthesis. That's the third step. Protein SYNTHE, protein synthesis. And this whole process of protein synthesis, it can be understood in stages. And the first stage जो हमारे पास है, that is called as assembly of ribosomal subunits. This is the first step. We know that there are two types of ribosomes. एक को हम बोलते हैं 70S राइबोसोम, दूसरे को हम बोलते हैं 80S राइबोसोम. These are the two these types of these राइबोसोम. हर एक राइबोसोम में, whether that is the 70S राइबोसोम or that is the 80S राइबोसोम, it has got a smaller subunit. It is not actually like this, but ये सिखाने के लिए कि वो कैसा होगा. एंड इट हैज गॉट द लार्जर सबयूनिट like this कि we know that each ribosome, we know that there are two types of ribosomes, 70S and 80S ribosomes, and each ribosome, it has got a smaller subunit and a larger subunit. Now what we will see, the smaller subunit की अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, it has a mRNA binding site. It has got a mRNA binding site. While as this larger जो हमारे पास सब यूनिट है, it has got three sites. These are called as A. These are called as P. These are called as E. These are the three binding sites. What you see, there has got three sites. Now what this A means, what this P means, what this E means. See, A, it is called as, A की अगर हम बात कर लेंगे, it means amino acyl site. A means amino acyl site, and it is, this site is to receive amino acids. So in this, what happens, this A site, it receives the amino acid. Now P is called as peptidal site. Here peptide bond formation takes place. Peptide bond formation takes place. And now we have got the E. What is this E? This E is the exit site. E is the exit site, the place, it is the place where from the tRNA, जो tRNA होता है, is going to exit, or leave. So what we will see, mRNA, it is attached to this smaller subunit, and this bigger जो हमारे पास है larger subunit जो है, it has got three sites, namely A, P and E. A is called as amino acyl site. This is to receive the amino acid. P is called as the peptidal site, where we will see the peptide bond formation takes place. E is called as the exit site, where from the tRNA is going to exit or leave. Now what happens, ये कहा जाता है, when, if the ribosome is attached to the ER, if the ribosome is attached to endoplasmic reticulum, then it is always the larger subunit. It is always the larger subunit which is attached to this endoplasmic reticulum with the help of a protein called ribofuran. कहा जाता है, if this ribosome, whether that's a 70S or 80S, is attached to the ER, then it is the larger subunit which is attached to this endoplasmic reticulum with the help of a protein that is called as a ribofuran. These two subunits, they assemble together. Now these two subunits, the smaller subunit and this larger subunits, they, what we call as, they assemble only, these two assemble, they assemble only when the protein synthesis takes place. When the protein synthesis takes place, like this. These two, they combine together only when the protein synthesis has to take place. these two has to combine only when the protein synthesis has to take place. See here. And the process is called as, this process is called as assembly of, this process is called as assembly of ribosome, is called as ribosome. And for this assembly of these 70s, this smaller subunit and larger subunit to combine together, we need magnesium ions are required. Magnesium ions are required. Now, if the magnesium ions are in less quantity, we will see that these two subunits, they will not assemble. If they are in the appropriate, then these two will assemble together. When the magnesium ion is more than that is required, we will see the dimer formation takes place. Then the dimer formation takes place. This was the first step. The second step was, here in this case, what is this? That is called as, so for this assembly of ribosome, magnesium ion is necessary. Second step जो हमारे पास आता है, that is the attachment of mRNA. Second step, the second stage, that is this, what we call as the attachment of mRNA. So this is the smaller subunit, this is the larger subunits. Here we will see this is the mRNA binding site here. This is the mRNA binding site, the smaller one. What we will see that here we will see we have got the three sites. A, that is the amino acyl site, then P, that is the peptide bond formation site. Then we have got the exit site here in the larger site. And what we will see here in this case, this amino acid jo hai, it gets attached like this. At this place, it gets attached with this. So it is the mRNA binding site and it gets attached at this place. So this was the third step which we have discussed, and that is the proteins. And the first one is the assembly of ribosomal subunit, and second one is this, the attachment of the mRNA. This was all about today's topic. In the next video we will proceed further in this translation. Until then, goodbye. God bless you. Thanks.